The greatest invention of mankind. Let me ask you a question. What is the greatest invention of mankind? What would you say? Most of us would quickly answer fire, because it gave us warmth, protection, and the power to cook our food. Some might say the wheel, because it opened the door to trade, travel, and discovery. But there's another invention that often slips our minds. Money. Yes, money. Yet unlike fire or the wheel, money isn't something you can touch or hold. Money is an idea, a belief. It's valuable only because we believe it is. In truth, it's a magician's illusion. But don't mistake illusion for unimportant. On the contrary, money has completely transformed the roots of human history. Before money, the struggles of barter. Before money, people traded directly with one another. Yes, goods for goods. For example, imagine I raise cattle and you grow vegetables and fruit. If I need vegetables for dinner but only have a cow, I'd have to trade one of my animals for your produce. Or maybe you make shoes and I make tents. To get a single pair of shoes, I'd have to give you an entire tent. Impossible, right? That's how the barter system worked. It was full of imbalance and inequality, needs rarely matched. For a trade to happen, I had to want what you had, and you had to want what I had. And that rarely lined up. The problem of storing value. There was also another problem. Some people couldn't preserve their wealth at all. Think about it. You grow tomatoes. Tomatoes are seasonal. If you sell them, great. If not, they rot, and your wealth disappears. But someone who makes tents can sell them all year round. So, even if you both worked equally hard, he would always be richer than you. That's why the pre-money world was full of injustice. The first monies, salt, weapons, shells. Over time, people began to notice something. Certain things were desired by everyone. Salt, for example. Weapons, animal skins. If you had these, everyone wanted to trade with you. Soon people started collecting these items, even when they didn't need them, just to exchange them later. And so commodity money was born, trading with things that everyone considered valuable. Then this idea evolved. If society already accepts some things as valuable, why not use them as a symbol of value itself? Now, humanity had created a symbol, a placeholder of worth, an IOU. You give me your goods, I give you a token. And with that token, you can get what you want from someone else. It was one of the greatest leaps in human history. Metal coins and the realization of value. But there was still a missing piece. For money to have value, it had to be scarce. If everyone could easily obtain it, it wouldn't be worth much. That's why, around 770 BC in China, the first metal coins appeared. They were made of bronze, small, portable, and durable. Now, the value of money was equal to the metal it contained. 1 gram of gold was worth exactly 1 gram of gold. For its time, this was revolutionary. But unfortunately, it didn't last long. Kings discover the power of money. Kings soon realized that whoever had the most money held the most power. So they wanted to produce more of it. But precious metals were expensive. Their solution was simple. Make coins thinner and mix expensive metals with cheaper ones. And that's when the illusion of money truly began. A coin's value was no longer in the metal itself, but in the king's word. The idea kept growing. Metal coins were heavy, so kings started issuing paper certificates. This note is worth this much gold, they said. And people believed them. Over time, no one bothered to exchange the paper for real gold anymore. The paper itself became money. Modern times fiat money. Today the same system continues. The only difference is that now we say government instead of king. Modern money is called fiat money. In Latin, fiat means let it be done. In other words, the government says this piece of paper is worth 1,000 units, and we simply believe it. Take Singapore's $10,000 note, for example. Do you know how much it costs to produce? Less than 20 cents, yet it's worth more than 7,000 US dollars, because we believe it. Print money, fix problems. But is it real? Today, governments can print as much money as they want. War breaks out? Print money. A new project? Print money. Economy slowing down? Print money. And that's the problem. The amount of money in a country should reflect the goods and services it produces. Otherwise, prices rise. That's inflation. In 2020, during the pandemic, the United States printed money at a pace never seen before in history. 40% of all dollars in existence were printed in just the last 18 months. And the result? Prices began to rise. Restaurant bills went up. Lumber prices tripled. And almost everything we need is getting more expensive. The real loss of value. Although government appear to be paying their debts by creating more money, the truth is that we are all slowly getting poorer. Your bank balance may stay the same, but what you can buy with it decreases every day. It's not the number of dollars that matters. It's their purchasing power, and that's what's falling. That's why we shouldn't hoard cash, but move toward assets that gain value. Otherwise, your savings will quietly melt away day by day. Final words. Money is an illusion. But understanding that illusion, learning how it works, is the first step toward freedom. Only then can we play the game correctly. Money itself has no value. We are the ones who give it value. And once you realize that, you're no longer just someone who earns money, but someone who creates value.